What's up, YouTube? Thought I'd put a little video up. It's your boy Young King. I just saw this version of the Flash this week. I know this off the topic I usually talk on, but I just saw something and I wanted to talk on it before I lose the thought. This week on the Flash, we finally found out that Barry Allen, the Flash, is actually Savertar. And Sabotage is actually a future version of Barry. Now, it's been crazy since that happened. Everybody's been trying to figure out how is Sabotage a future version of Barry when we've seen the future Barry and he's the one that actually trapped Sabotage in the Speed Force. So, through the whole season 1, 2, and I just think it's the third season, we have never ever seen the actual future Barry. This is the first time they showed him when he went into the future to 2024 to meet his future self. So why is this important? This is important because of season 1. And the original comics, the original timeline was Barry didn't get his powers till 2020 when the particle accelerator exploded. And Harrison Wells, at that time, Barry was created, and he became the Flash then. But if you don't remember, Earbach Thong ran back in time and tried to kill the younger Barry. And doing that, he got trapped, and then he had to create an earlier particle explosion, which happened in, I think, 2016, 4 years earlier. And Barry became the Flash a little earlier. But let me get to the point. We never ever seen a future version of the Flash. So let's get into this. At the end of season 1, Earbach Thong, portraying as Dr. Harrison Wells, or as the Reverse Flash, told Barry that he needed his speed to cipher off of to open up the Speed Force so he can go back to his timeline. And in doing that, he will have a chance to go back in time and save his mother. So, they did that. And Barry did go back to save his mother. But when he got back there, it was 3 versions of himself there. It was him who came back to save his mother, the smaller version of him, and the future him that traveled back following Earbach Thong, who came back to kill the younger Barry. I know it sounds confusing, so let me break it down to you. We have one Barry from 2016, one Barry as a younger child Barry, and one Barry from like 2040. So the 2040 Barry who followed Earbach Thong back, if you don't remember on that scene, go back and watch it. Barry came through the Speed Force in the room. When he opened the room to go save his mother, his future self looked at him and told him, "No, don't do it." He went back in the room. The future him grabbed him, the younger version of him, took him outside, right? That's when the original timeline Barry from 2016 came in to see his mother before she died. Now, let's think of this. That future Flash who came back and followed Earbach Thong, he came from a timeline with his mother alive, his father alive. Nothing happened to any one of those because they were alive. That's why he came back to kill Barry. Not the mother, he came back to kill Barry. So, just imagine the future Barry went back in time to stop Earbach Thong from killing the younger version of him. But in the meantime, his mother was killed. So now when you go back to the future, that timeline is all fucked up. You gotta think about this. In the future Barry, he didn't need to know Joe them like that because he was raised with his mother and his father. He did eventually meet Iris and Wally, but not as early because he didn't really need them to take care of him because he was not left alone by his mother being killed and his father going to jail. But now when he goes back to the future, he has no mother, right? Because she's dead from the past. He has no father because his father spent his life in jail for the murder of his mother. He'd have no Joe because he never really got close to Joe and Iris like that, because Joe took him in as a youngster when he seen that he had no family. So he never really got close to anyone. So when he got back to his original timeline, he really had nobody that he loved there. So I believe that version of Barry, when he went back to the future, kind of went mad because he had no Iris, he had no Joe, he had no mother, he had no father, he had nothing. And like he said, you know, the younger version of Barry had everything. You know, he had Iris, you know, he at least saw his mother, he saw his father, he had everything he actually asked for after Hanson Wells died and released his father. But it may be wrong, but I believe that version of Barry is the future Barry, because that's the only Barry we saw from the future until this recent episode when Barry went to 2024 to talk to himself and to figure out how they sabotage the Speed Force. So I believe when Barry went back after saving his younger self to the future, without having his mother there, without having his father there, and having Iris, or Wally, or any of those people who grounded him with love, I think it just drove him insane, and it really drove him mad. And I think it drove him to lose some of his speed and create the sabotage suit and the tech to make him go so fast that he would be able to go back in time and fix the timeline. And I guess some type of way when he went back in time to fix the timeline, things got messed up. But that's my thoughts. That's my version of it. I believe that the Barry that was in the house with Air Bong Thong, who went back to the future, was actually sabotage. That's the version of Barry that is sabotage, not the time remlet that everybody thinks is sabotage. I don't believe the time remlet is sabotage. I believe the time remlet is erased from the timeline, but it's still 3 in the timeline. It's the future one. It's the one that came back with Air Bong Thong, the one in the present, and the future one that trapped sabotage to the Speed Force, which is the future version of the Barry of today. But sabotage is the one who came back from, I think it was 2050, with Air Bong Thong. That's my version of it. Yeah, okay.